So again, welcome to NLP Today. I'm Dr. Will, and what we're going to talk about today is a secret way, if you will, how to stay slim during the holidays, how to do a little bit better than you were before, yada, yada, yada. And so we're going to talk a little bit, do that. And then for the people that are on the call on Zoom, as I said, it's being recorded, it's being streamed live on Facebook. I'll tell you when I turn off the Facebook stream, and then we can talk if you want. Not everybody wants to be, broadcast live. So let's have some fun. So, with the holidays coming up, and well, we're in the middle of it, in the season anyway. Weight gain is common, right? And all of us that have ever ran weight loss clinics, and the research says if you do well between, like here in the States anyway, between Thanksgiving and the New Year's, you're much more likely to do great the next year on things like weight loss, But many of us, we default to the idea that, the holiday 5, the Christmas 10, whatever people call it, right? And why is that? Well, it's festive, it's holiday. Some of it, everything I'm doing now goes back to my neurology. I've been blessed right now. I'm teaching a new basic NLP class online, and it's a new class. I'm adding new things, and people that are on it are getting different information. And I've already decided the next one I do, I'm going to spend a couple of days after we learn techniques in that, talking about the neurology, if you will, or why these techniques work, right? Now we know like why some of the techniques work, as opposed to we just kind of knew they worked before. Now there's some neurology, some neuroscience behind it. But anyway, so in the holiday season, there's a lot going on that causes this, right? And, a lot of us would like to stay thin during the holidays, to eat healthy during the holidays, right? Well, what's interesting? Only about 8 to 12% of your brain is geared to receive like, right? That will activate when you're doing something you like. Okay, small percentage, so go in the middle, about 10%. But like 80% of your brain lights up when you have something that you want. It's the anticipation that's more important than the actual doing it, right? So you could really like to do something, once you do it, but if you don't want to do it at the beginning, you're not going to do it, right? A lot of people say, I like to eat healthy, I like to go to the gym. They never do it. Well, they haven't activated the want gene, right? The want thing in their head, right? And there's a lot of reasons for that, right? I mean, this gets deeper and deeper, but underneath it, your brain will also default to the group you're with. And a lot of reasons for that, right? A lot of reasons for that. Your brain defaults again to the group that you're with. And there's no judgment there. It's just the way that it works, right? I mean, they've researched this. There was a couple of studies done where they took a group of people, and the test was, they had lines, like matching lines, like this line and this line, right? And then they'd show like, okay, this line is this long, then would show 3, and you'd pick which one in the 3 was the same length as the test. Great, right? And people would choose it right. But then when they, then if we added an actor, a control variable, the person. So if there were 3 of us doing, or 2 of us doing the test, and the actor would pick the wrong one being the same length. Well, if it's just one person, there's no change in the outcome, right? So you'll pick the no, that guy's wrong or that lady's wrong. It's this one. This is the same length as the other 2. Great, okay. And this will stay true till you hit about 3 or 4 people. And then the person, even though they know, like, line A is the correct answer, if all the other people say, no, it's line C, most people, like 90 something percent, will say the wrong answer knowing that it's wrong, right? To fit into the group. No one, even though this is a group you don't really know, for God's sakes, right? I mean, it's like just when they do a test. And they even found when they go deeper, once it gets to a bigger group, like 15 or 20, not only will the person pick the wrong answer and say, yes, it's this one, they will even doubt it in their own mind, right? And that's just a group, and these are basically strangers. This isn't like friends. You're just coming, of course, they always do this shit at a college, so they don't know, but it's people, you know, it's not, it, and they controlled out for like friends or people that you would know, right? And just think of the power of that. You will want to be like the people around you, even if you know it's wrong. Even if you know it's wrong. So you go to a holiday party and there's all that shit up there that you're like, I don't want to gain weight. I don't want to do this, da, 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 da. You know it's wrong, but everybody else is doing it, right? So you will default to, okay, I'll have a little, right? And then of course, a lot of this food is calorie dense because your brain, and not just your brain, but your entire DNA is geared to get high calorie, high fat foods, right? That's what keeps you alive, right? 100,000 years ago, we needed that. 100,000 years ago, we didn't have McDonald's on every goddamn corner, so you had all the food that you wanted, right? But your brain is still geared to it, right? And there's this thing that once it starts, it starts this whole internal thing where you're going to have more, right? And then if you do, and you succumb to the group, not just to blame the group, but you know, once it starts, then you'll like, well, I've already had some, I'll have more, da, 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 da. I'll start tomorrow, right? Everybody right now, people are saying about, somebody found out I do hypnosis. Do you do weight loss? Yeah. I'm going to call you after first year. I say, if you don't call me by first year, screw you. I don't want you as a client, right? Somebody at the health club, and they just looked at me. I'm like, you know, there's a need. You know, there's a way to get it done. You're going to wait. So you're going to gain, and that's going to be your carte blanche to put on probably 20 pounds in the next 2.5 weeks. Right. So again, you know, it's the idea of want and like, and also the group. So that's what happens at the holidays. Everybody's cooking, you know, for Christmas or Hanukkah or, you know, whatever. What is it still Hanukkah going on? Is Hanukkah still going on? Okay. Kwanzaa, you know, whatever it is, right? But so then people, they'll cook, and a lot of that is based in our DNA also, not just DNA, but it's based in our, let me see if this helps my lighting, by the way. I just want to check something. No, I don't like that. I'm getting different lights. Anyway, it's based in that because breaking bread is the ultimate compliment with people. Because again, 20,000 years ago, food was scarce. You showed up. If I shared food with you, that was the ultimate compliment, right? Because if you know, there's me, my wife, probably 5 rugrats back in those days, right? We have to eat. And if I shared my bounty with you, that meant a lot, right? And so that's kind of inbred in us, and that's what we do. And then of course it's cultural now, and we share and things like this. So all of those, that's going on the holidays, right? So again, you may like eating healthy, you may like exercise, but do you want to do it? So, you know, everybody tries to jump to activating the thing that they need to do, which even if they kind of like it, I've heard people say, I really like to exercise. I don't know why I don't exercise. I go, do you want to exercise? Not really, but I like it when I do it. Well, they're missing the want factor, right? It's the anticipation, the thing that gets you going, right? Because again, if 80 or more percent of your brain, a lot of those things are activated when you want something, when you go into the craving mode, right? And only like 10% is activated when you're actually doing something you like. Sometimes the doing it is a letdown, right? I mean, you look forward to a good movie, you look forward to a dinner, you look forward to having sex, whatever it is. And yeah, you like it and you're doing it's like, it was okay, right? Nothing great, right? Right? But as soon as it's over, if you start thinking about like liking it, I mean, this gets really cool stuff when you really get into it, you know, intermittent reward and all this other stuff, right? So for us, how can we help people, right, get to the goal, and one of the things I think we focus on, and I'm guilty of it, I've just been changing this lately, is screw what you need to do or you like to do. We have to activate that you want to do it, right? Without that, you're never going to do it. People, well, you know, and again, then when you have the whole culture around you that's going one direction, if they feed into a bad behavior, you're going to follow it, right? And then you feel like an outcast if you don't do it, right? And not to be political, but I don't care. I'll be political. We're seeing it now with you know, the whole lockdown mask thing. You know, if you don't believe in it, there's something wrong with you, right? As opposed to I just, you know, whatever. Da, 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 da. Yeah, I was just having a conversation with somebody today about that, you know, and all I kept, finally I deferred to the fact, they said, well, actually underneath it, I'm absolutely fascinated to watch the Dunning-Kruger effect in action. You know, that all the people that think they know science, the ones that are saying trust science, they never default to the number one rule of science is question everything. You know, show me the statistics, you know? And I will say, it's like, and this is just for me here, it's like, okay, New York and Florida is about the same size, population-wise. And we have a lot of the same thing, big cities, urban areas. I mean, of course, we're in the South, they're in the North, but, you know, just like we could use Pennsylvania and Georgia if you're going to equalize for population. Well, New York and Pennsylvania are totally locked down, mask mandates, da, 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 da. Florida and Georgia are not. So the science in me says, well, show me the statistical data that says New York and Pennsylvania is doing better with the virus than Florida or Georgia. But when you look at the statistical data, it's equalized across the board. You know, so what my question is, what's the science behind doing this? That, you know, and if I get people, when I look and I have other people, I go, show me that, and trust me, I'll wear a mask. I'll start telling everybody, lockdown, 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 right? But it's, yeah, that's just me. Maybe, you know, if you have that data, I'd love to see it, you know. And CNN is not data. You know, MSNBC, CNN, ABC, NBC is not data, right? It's whatever it is. So anyway, so going into the holidays, again, if a group, and it, you know, it's breaking bread, it's a time, it's also an excuse, you know, everybody gains weight at Christmas or the holidays, everybody does this, da, 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 right? And again, so it becomes socially acceptable, right? Because the other thing, when you're going to make a change, and you hear me talk a lot about, I don't care what your hopes and dreams are, I want to know who you're hanging out with, right? If you're hanging out with a bunch of fat, lazy people, and you want to be in shape, good luck. You know, I've never seen it work, you know. Well, I'll get them to work out. Coming from addictions for 40 years, I hear everybody going into treatment. I'm going to have all my friends in treatment. You know, 3 weeks after rehab, they're shooting up in the alley, you know, with their friends, right? And it's and a lot of this too is, so if what we're going to do today, you need some visual cues, right? Because most of your brain is accessed by visual cortex, right? So you need visual cues, right? And that's set in your environment, and you can somewhat control your environment, right? You can somewhat control your environment. Actually, most of us can really control our environment a lot more. Do you want to control your environment? You know, oh, I have to bake all this stuff and da, da, da. No, you don't. I mean, what, you know, I don't think Homeland Security is standing in your kitchen with an AR, with an M16 telling you got to bake this shit, right? You want to bake it, right? Because you want the feedback, maybe the people, whatever it is, right? So you need to change your visual cues. It's also why because people have wondered this for years, and I'm just kind of babbling. I'm on a coffee rant today. They always wonder why, like, all these people go away to rehab and addictions, and we know that. You go to a long-term treatment program. Like, I used to work with one that was like, the minimum was 6 months. Minimum was 6 months. The average was 12 to 18 months, right? or they went through treatment, and then you had to live in a halfway house, then there was another step down unit and another step down unit. It had a great success rate, right? And I think it's because, you know, they looked at, and the people I've talked to, they looked at, okay, I take somebody, you know, I take Pam out of New Jersey, I bring her to Florida, we put her in treatment for 30 days, she's doing great, she doesn't want to drink or use, she's in that environment, then she goes home. She's back in the environment. There's beer in the refrigerator. Her friends are having wine after work, you know, and all those cues start popping up, which starts the want cycle that she didn't have when she was in treatment, right? And the missing ingredient, a lot of people, it was an organization called Task. One of the things they had you do before you could leave whichever program you were in, you had to have a new environment. You couldn't go back to where you lived before, right? Which was, if you think about it, it's very important, right? And that's why people always argue, oh, you know, you don't have to like go to 12-step meetings to stay sober or stay clean. I'm like, well, in my 25,000 clients over the years, running rehabs, being around it myself, I've never, ever seen somebody just quit drinking and still hang around the bar. Maybe it's happened every once in a while. I don't know. I personally haven't seen it. The only people I know of that kind of did that were miserable human beings. You know, they're sitting at a bar wanting to drink. So anyway, so there's a visual cue. So let's say you want to stay thin for the holidays. Sorry for my rant. So what we got to do is, okay, you like to do this. You want to stay healthy. You want to eat healthy and all this, but you don't have the want cycle. So you got to up, you know, your want cycle, right? So when I do that Godiva chocolate technique with people, it's all about upping the want. But what we're going to do, I did an e-zine and I talked about how to start your day, because I was talking to somebody and they just kind of started, well, I teach this, but they actually did it, which was odd. Most people don't. They started the day with getting up in the morning, and before they did anything, before they grabbed their cell phone, before they, actually this person would actually do it before they went to the bathroom in the morning, unless they really had to, as they said. But generally they'd sit there for a moment before the world woke up, and they would run like the new behavior generator of them having a good day, right? Of them having a good day, right? Not eating crap, maybe exercise, all the things that they wanted to accomplish, right? And somehow intuitively, they added in not only just doing it, like watching the movie doing it, they knew they wanted to do it, to eat healthy, to exercise that day. Then after and it was working because they were losing weight, that's what she originally called me for. I said, well, why don't you also add in, like, guess what? You're going to have unexpected clients calling you, right? You got more money at the end of the week than you had at the beginning of the week, and you may not know how, right? But people are going to call, people are going to buy your products. You wrote a book, people are going to buy your book, right? Because there's millions of people, 340 million Americans out there, right? If that's just your target, let alone you add Canada, that's another, what, 30 million? Don't you have 30 million up in Canada, give or take? Something like that, something like. So 400 million people just in true North America. And, you know, so anyway, so she added that, like, okay, she'd run her little new behavior generator. And I think what she did brilliantly is she goes, and I had to keep it short, right? Like, because then people, and I've seen this because we all do it, they take a simple idea, before it's over, it's this goddamn 3-hour process where you're lighting candles and throwing cat piss in the air and, ooh, you know, you're doing all this, ooh, tough crowd. Rather than just, she'd sit there, run the movie of, you know, getting up, she's going to eat healthy, she's going to go work out sometime today, she's going to have new clients, and enjoying it and wanting to do it. And that was it, right? And then as soon as she did that, she would, as she said, she's walking to the bathroom, she'd think about a couple of things she's grateful for, you know, the house she's in, just, I always say 2 or 3 things, simple, you know, just whatever it is. And then ask herself a couple questions. How can I enjoy today? Her questions would change by what she was doing. How can I do this? How can I? And that was it. That was her whole routine. Took maybe 60 seconds first thing in the morning, right? And so she goes, when I started doing it, I noticed the change. I go, great. And she goes, but then it started to backslide. Anybody ever have that? Where I know it's going to work, but I won't do it. I've heard people heard me say lately, when I'm driving to the barn in the morning on the days I'm taking care of the horse, if I turn on Comedy Central or the anything with comedy on the Sirius radio, my day goes 100% better. That's a statistics could say it goes a lot better because I'm just in a good mood. Right? I'm out there shoveling horse shit and I'm listening to Comedy Central, and then I switch over to some kind of audible book. Right? So I know that. I like that. Right? But I got away from wanting to do it. Right? So I needed to add what this young lady was doing. Right? So I started doing it. First thing in the morning, I sit there, and I'd run a quick new behavior generator. And I've just added the thing about business, like maybe selling books. I don't have to know the people that buy my books, right? Or watch one of my videos. In fact, one of the guys in the class, that's how he found me. He was watching YouTube and, he goes, he liked what he saw on the YouTube, right? On a couple of my YouTube things. So I'm just going to start that. So just quick in the morning, right? And then I try to remember to do the gratitude thing every day, and ask myself a couple questions. The only other thing I do is I try to read one of my spiritual motivational things first thing in the morning. Since I'm in recovery, I'll admit it's like the 24-hour book or the meditation from one of the 12-step programs. And honestly, usually 5 minutes after I read it, I can't tell you what I read, but it starts my brain in a different thing, and that, and again, in the recovery world, the people that do those kind of things, just get up and even read the meditation as they're drinking their coffee, do much better than those that don't. Right? And so that's the thing I wanted to do and talk about, so what's, so you could set up your own cues, but you got to find a visual cue in that. But so when you first get up, can it be before you get out of bed to go to the bathroom? Unless you drank a lot of fluids, you got to run. Other than that, I can take that 1 minute and do a quick, new behavior generator, right? If you're into classical, that's the theater of the mind. If you study Maxwell Maltz, right? So it's just do that exercise, add the thing about eating healthy and exercise if we're working on staying healthy during the holidays, right? And finding even in the new behavior generator, finding ways that you want to do this, to go to the health club. When I put that out and I was thinking about it, because I started thinking, I always see a lot of the same people at the health club in the morning, in the general time I'm there. And some of it is the social thing. People talk. This is Florida. A lot of people are retired. So it's a social network. Some people are going there to get away from their family, to be honest with you, to go there and get some exercise. Some people go there, it's to commune with themselves. They got their little headphones on. They really, I just see them a lot. I don't really talk to them. So maybe that's their quiet time away from people, right? But obviously they want to do it. They're there regularly, right? Same as when the people I see that, get into a 12-step program, a recovery program like that, I see the same, usual suspects, as we say, at the same meeting a lot, right? And I'm involved in this one meeting, and it's called a newcomer beginners meeting. So we get a lot of new people. And we were talking about it the other day. I pointed out, I go, wow, we've had like 1 or 2 new people, either brand new to recovery, trying to quit drinking, stop getting high, or coming back after getting away from it. We've had 1 or 2 every week for a few weeks. I said, and I look around, this was Monday. I said, I look around this room, I don't see any of those people. But I see all the usual suspects. The guys that have 25, 20 years, 15 years, we're in the meeting. So because people wonder, does the 12-step program work? I from my evidence, I'm seeing all these people in the long term. They're showing up. I don't know about the other people, right? But it works. And most of us tell you why they want to go to meetings, right? I can always tell somebody that won't work out long term when they say, I hate exercise, but I love being in shape. Okay. All right. That's the type that are in great shape. They're teenage, early 20s, maybe going into 30s. But when that hormone change hits, it's because, it's like, so you have to so you got to find things that you, whether it's eat healthy or exercise or go to 12-step meetings or do whatever, you gotta start thinking about the want. But today we're going to do a little bit. We're going to do the new behavior generator, and I'm just going to walk you through it, and it'll be more than a minute because we're doing the setup. So anyway, so take a deep breath, close your eyes, and what I want you to imagine is getting up in the morning. So it's kind of a new behavior generator in a new behavior generator. So you're going to imagine getting up. You all have our routines. Maybe you grab your phone. Maybe you have to grab your glasses, turn off an alarm. What is it that you do have to do when you first wake up, right? So what is it, right? If nothing else, you sit up at the edge of the bed and think about going to the bathroom. Are you going to go to the bathroom and get a cup before you get a cup of coffee, if you're a coffee drinker, or are you going to go get a cup of coffee, then go to the bathroom? What is it you do, right? And what I want you to do is imagine you're going to watch this movie, and then we're going to do it. But I want you to notice that you there, this time before they get out of the bed, before they get up from the bed to go to the bathroom or get their coffee or whatever, might be as soon as they turn off the alarm, whatever it is, you see that you there run a movie in their mind of them having a great day. Right? They're going to get out of bed, go to the bathroom, brush their teeth, whatever you do in the morning, you see yourself doing it, enjoying it, getting your coffee, right? But you see that also then during the day, you're going to have a great day. That the phone's going to ring with a new client. You're going to notice maybe you sold a product if you have products for sale. It's just going to be a good day. Eat healthy, maybe find a way to exercise. And as you're sitting there watching yourself watch this movie, in the movie, you up there also takes a moment and just thinks about being grateful for the hot cup of coffee, for the fact they have a house and they're going to the bathroom. And then maybe as they walk to the bathroom, as you watch yourself watch the movie, you see that you ask, like, how can I enjoy the day? How can I be of service to humanity today? How can I have fun today? So maybe those questions will change every day, but the routine is the same. You want yourself go through it over and over again. Wake up in the morning, sit on the edge of the bed, and close your eyes, take a deep breath, and run a movie of them having a great day. Right? And maybe whatever it is you're trying to build, besides get in shape and eat healthy, turning down the Christmas cookies and cakes and candies, and choosing the good, healthy food and wanting to. You don't know how, but you want to. Great. And then as you maybe walk to the bathroom, you're thinking, how can I be of service today? What can I learn today? How can I have a good day today? And then thinking about, damn, I have a house, I have a car. And then starting the day. So now what I want you to do is you're going to step into that you sitting at the edge of the bed. And you're going to run that movie of you having a great day, getting up, you're going to go to the bathroom. If you're a coffee drinker, you're going to get your cup of coffee or tea. But you're going to take a moment and meditate and be grateful. And you're going to see yourself, wow, answering the phones. People want to buy your product. People want to buy your books, whatever it is that you're doing. People want to schedule a session. It's amazing. And you don't know how, and that's okay. And then you imagine you go and do your morning business, and it just goes every day, over and over again. And it's fast, a minute, 90 seconds max. 90 seconds for success. Good. And when you're ready, take a deep breath and exhale. Open your eyes, come on back. Now, as you're thinking about it, we're going to do it again, but think about, is there anything you want to add? But keep it simple. You know, what's another cue in your life that you know you're going to do? You know, is there something you know you're going to do? I know I got to feed the dogs, right? I know I usually feed the cat because it's bitching more than the dogs first thing in the morning, right? And it's giving me the evil eye standing on the counter, right? So maybe put that in there, that reminds you that you have pets that love you, right? Yeah, especially if you have dogs. If you have cats, they tolerate you, but they're, you know, whatever, right? So whatever it is, think of a cue, you know, and you know, the way you drink your coffee or tea or whatever it is you do in the morning. Great. So let's do it one more time. Take a deep breath, close your eyes. And see yourself sitting on the edge of the bed first thing in the morning. And that you is watching a movie of them in their head doing a great day. Right? Eating healthy, saying no to cookies and cakes and candies in the holiday, finding a way to exercise. You know, selling products, or their business is just growing and they can't tell you why. Going to the bathroom, doing your morning routine. And then there's that other visual cue. In my case, there's that cat looking at me. That reminds me it's going to be a good day. Good. And now take a deep breath. And as you exhale, step into yourself sitting on the edge of your bed in the morning. Maybe you've turned off the phone or the alarm, and you're sitting there and you run that movie and you see yourself eating healthy, exercising, saying no thank you to yourself and others, having a great day, surprisingly getting business in new and exciting ways that surprise and delight you. And then going to the bathroom, doing your morning business, maybe getting your coffee. And in my case, I see the cat. You see whatever you see, and it reminds you it's going to be a good day. Good. And open your eyes. Come on back. Good. All right. So for my friends on Facebook, if you have any questions, click below, leave me a message, reach out, and I'll see you as we trudge the road to happy destiny. Stop live stream. Okay, live stream stop. I'm going to stop the recording.